This call is being recorded.
All right. Please don't hesitate to interrupt if you have any questions, anything at all you'd like to mention. That is totally fine.
Great.
Um, I do see you got the transit forecast, and relative to the transit forecast, you do have your rising at late Libra. In fact, I also see you are alien gang. And so I'm going to share an alien construct article because you have Uranus exactly on your rising, making you an
Yep.
instrument, a Uranian instrument alien, which is super awesome, super gangster. You can see the future, talk to anyone of any station or status, step to the beat of their own drummer, inspire political leadership, use your body as an amplifier of energy or as a means of broadcasting info that helps free others who are stuck, lead humanity into a new age, express genius, amongst other things that I will be provided in that article I'll be sending. You also have Pluto in the same sign. So even though it's behind your AC, I'm also going to include the Plutonian instrument alien, which now gives you an extremely powerful personality, an eccentric genius personality, and one that might be intimidating to others who are full of crap. We also see that you have a pure soul, which is awesome. So as a Scorpio rising, you manifest as a Libra rising, you manifest the sauce. You got the sauce. You have Scorpio. And so your soul is a quality of your own pure energy that you manifest and identify with. And then you're spiritually perfect here with the 12th house of Virgo sun. It's very hard to find Virgos who admit that they are actually perfect, because it's harder to find Virgos who find fault with themselves, which is even symbolic in the 12th because the 12th is a house of undoing. And so before it turns into a superpower, you may have had to overcome unconscious habits of over analysis and paralysis of analysis in order
Yep.
to just, bounce. So that's amazing. I would say at this point with the Mastery 26, it is a superpower. And now we're in Libra season. So I'm glad you got this because now we're going to see the next 6 months out from Libra season into, of course, Aries season. We know that Aries season of 2021 represented the individualization of your own masculine assertion relative to how you hold space for other people in the seventh house of Aries. And so that led into 6 months from Aries season of with other people individually expressing your personality. And now coming back around, you have 6 months of personal hardcore development that is now expressing itself through the first in Libra, even though most of your first house is in Scorpio using the eco sign system. We're going to be able to blend the 12th portion of Libra with your identification in the first. That's kind of how I mix both houses. So
Okay.
we know that over the next 6 months during Libra season with the new moon in October, Jupiter's going to go direct, Saturn's going to go direct, Pluto's going to go direct. We know that the North Node is going to enter Taurus. We know that Venus is going to retrograde in Capricorn. And since you are a master Libra rising, 24 degrees, Aquarius with the equal signs is your fifth house. With the whole signs is your fifth house, but majority of it is in your fourth. So technically, you're embarking on chapter 5 of this journey where Saturn will finish out the fifth house in Aquarius. Jupiter is in your fifth house in Aquarius. And relative to 2016 or 2017, rather, when Jupiter went through your first and you started the first year of the 12-year cycle, now you're on chapter 5 where you're expanding the creative talent of the extraordinary knowledge you express as an artist, because the risings are artists. And as an artist, you have the vibration of pure mastery, of a pure critic, where the Scorpio is pure and the mastery is Virgo awareness. So with this, you're currently in a position where you're not only expanding the element of your creative knowledge, but Saturn in the fourth is coming around to strengthen the authority collectively that comes into mastering these elements of your talents. And normally during this period, one comes into monetizing what they love or being serious about what they love to do creatively. So this is really just going to strengthen what's in play during this period to fully move forward from the Saturn and Jupiter cycle, especially if we think that last year during 2020, you gained so much more of an incredible grounding and understanding of who belongs in your private life and who you can trust and who you feel comfortable with, even though Capricorn is less about comfort and more about control. That being said, right, so now Aquarius is extending forth the detached, extraordinary knowledge that goes into how to connect with your social circle and to express these talents. So because the fifth house is the house of the inner child, you're definitely also more in a position to really express more what you love. This is the coolest part though, because your sun is master Virgo at 26 degrees. First of all, this makes you a legend as a master. This brings spiritual perfection. So you're aware of the abstract nature of all the details in the 12th. And so you're going to notice the details that even those who notice the details won't notice. It's highly supernatural. And this makes you like super awesome. So your awareness of this Aquarius energy, because now Aquarius is sixth house to your Virgo sun, is the advanced integration of advanced habits that you're going to be aware of as it takes place in your fourth, fifth house. So my question for you is, normally when Jupiter goes through the fourth, people move. Did you move recently last year?
I moved last September into a new house, and for some reason I've been told, and this is, I don't get a lot of readings, but and this has been a while ago, that I was, like there's another one coming up, but I just moved in last September.
Okay, thank you so much. That's very revealing because Jupiter was definitely in your fourth house. It was in the third, but fourth, so we know that that facilitated. Saturn coming out of the fourth into the fifth also will secure work from home opportunities. Is that happening? Does that resonate? Even if it's online, of course.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to get back to work.
Okay.
You mentioned something that, I intimidate people, and that's kind of what I'm going through in my age in my life right now. I could tell you that last year when I literally manifested this move. And somehow my husband, all my family, like literally trust me. I was like, we need to make this move. I don't know how I know what I know, but there's not a lot of risk. If it works out, it works out. And they followed me. They trusted me, and we are in a better position for it, but yeah, I've been learning to trust my intuition.
Nice, nice. And we know intuitively you do have Neptune and Sag that is aligned with the North Node. So actually, your destiny is to take the resources of the alignment with truth in your philosophy and dealings with others, and to speak up about the meaning of life and to manifest this magical, meaning and awareness, or at least perspective, which is vague enough to actually apply to everything. So anytime you're in a, it's a highly magical destiny. It aligns you with the creator. And I just kind of wanted to put that like that. So it's not limited, because this also squares Jupiter and your Venus, which now aligns an expansion of this understanding, but critically still grounds it in 3D. It's a very magical destiny path. And of course, the North Node is aligned opposite this. So we know once again, you do have your moon in Scorpio, and the South Node will eventually go over your moon. But we know that 6 months from now is going to take this first house transit that will realign much of your personality. And over the next 6 months, once again, build around your character so that by Aries season in 6 months, the person who you are now updating your personality, you're going to bring that individually to other people boldly and assertively, especially during a Chiron return. Congratulations. That will have you break out through this need to not come across as crazy to others, because Chiron opposite Uranus, especially on the rising, is people will just kind of think you're really eccentric or crazy, when really it's not that you're crazy. They're stupid because they think you're crazy, and you're a genius. Yeah. And so it's going to be a very empowering Chiron return. And so last year around this period, um, when you were identifying who you are, it was relative to chapter 4, where it was challenging 2020 because your identity was now clashing with this collective obligation to kind of like, well, with the fourth house influence of those in your private life that challenged what you want to be for yourself versus what people in your private life or family or the collective around you expect from you. And so you clash with that. Now we're back around and you're identifying yourself, but this time based on how much more creative you become with the Aquarius energy and the knowledge of your talents. Aquarius, of course, which is fixed air. So like writing on paper and whatnot. And so because much of this Libra energy will be trining Jupiter and Saturn, this is going to really align with this Libra season and Mars return you're going through. This application of your personality and what you're releasing unconsciously, relative to how you are an instrument of this social genius with Uranus and awareness with the Sun here. As Mars will slowly but surely go over your rising coming into next month, this will reinvigorate you with energy. So in case you felt isolated, or because I know this, you've progressed past this in your progress chart, but if you feel less of energy or isolated, that's because you're coming out the 12th. Soon you'll come into the 1st, coming into Scorpio season. And that's going to manifest the Taurus season 2021, where you started that new cycle of trusting the right influences, but also manifesting this nature of boundaries and value that you're now converting into so much more pure wisdom around your value. So the Scorpio season coming into next month is going to manifest this updated sense of your identity through Libra and how much more purely confident you are and feeling into your value. But this time, your moon will be directly opposite Uranus and Taurus with the new moon. And so this is going to highly transform the investments made. I think that you're getting set up for an incredible transformation of your finances based on the actions taken last year to kind of set this in plan. We know that you're integrating yourself back into the career field, which we may see for Capricorn season with the Venus retrograde, and then of course the conjunction with Saturn Aquarius season. So the square that the Scorpio season will make to Aquarius will challenge how much more creatively you express your written talents and networking relative to how much more deeply you psychologically tap into your worth and value. And do you have any questions about that so far, as far as like finances and potential investments with money?
No, it all makes really a lot of sense.
All right, that's awesome. Yeah, once again, by Scorpio season, so much of these energies, so much of these planets will now be direct. So we're going to see after the new moon, by the way, the new moon in Libra next week in the 1st, even though it falls in the 12th, will now re-identify, how much more boldly you express your personality, but this time relative to Jupiter's expansion in your 5th, whereas last year it was more about identifying yourself based on what you feel about your family and private life. Now this is, okay, now I'm so much more aware of what I want to create and how I want to upgrade my talents. How does that influence who I am? And so the Scorpio season new moon will start a new cycle of manifesting so much more valuably, because now Jupiter is expanding what you can creatively express. And once again, the 5th house, 8th house, these are like self-employment houses. So I think there's going to be, even if we're just starting the cycle, extraordinary development when it comes into tapping into this sense, once again, of your income potential and primarily your value. And once again, this is set to be very amazing, because This will also be opposite Uranus, that's in the seventh, eighth. So during this period, this is attracting unconventional partnership constructs. And because the eighth house is a house of investments and self employment, I think this is going to open up avenues for cryptocurrency stock or real estate investments, or for opportunities for people to invest more in what you're offering. So this will kind of set more of the stage for that. Then we're going to have the final eclipse Sagittarius season coming out of the second into your third house. And that's going to take the 6 months of Gemini 2021, where you effectively aligned in this sense of your philosophy with Gemini in the ninth house, the hidden nature and secrets of the truth that you hold space for others and drawing boundaries and dealing with others, and really step you back into the meaning of the creativity and the skill sets and the value and the attitude. So relative to this nodal transit, this is using the resources of your attitude, perception, and ascended skill set to re-innovate or reevaluate how you teach and also learn information. So it's going to bring back full circle the conclusion of this eclipse. And because
Mhm.
now this will be in the second house portion, manifest more the ascended abilities in this collective understanding. And because it's so close to Neptune, this is also going to unlock the clairvoyant abilities you have on a much more deeper understanding level of knowledge. Because now Jupiter and Saturn are giving you more knowledge of how to induce these abilities, where last year gave you control through Capricorn. So we're extending
Mm.
that control in Aquarius with the knowledge, right? So around this period, it's going to manifest a much more clear understanding of how to engage in these clairvoyant abilities that might have just been confusing before, because we still needed more experience with them. So far, the rest of this year is very amazing, very jam packed, but also in a position to prepare you for the North Node in Taurus eclipse period. Sagittarius will square your Virgo awareness natally, and this is going to bridge unconscious habits or mastered elements of your lifestyle and now integrate them with new elements of your behavior with the new moon in Sagittarius. That will now prepare you 6 months from then to show others how you've taken these ideas and visions and can communicate them. 2022 Gemini season. That's what's going to lead into Capricorn season, where subsequently we'll have Venus retrograding on Pluto. And because this is near your fourth house, first of all, the square that this is going to happen with Uranus, because right now Pluto is retrograde 24 degrees. So the square that it's occurring with your Chiron in Aries and your Uranus is at an unconventional level within, awakening and transforming more authenticity and control and power, so that you can break through any inhibitions that get in your way of fully eccentricity and your talents. So Venus retrograde may during this period reevaluate your home space, probably inspire another move you're manifesting,
Mhm.
but really influence the direction at this point about how you'll be moving forward towards your career, especially consolidating extra funds that come through November, which there may be an element of unexpected income, of windfall income, because it influences Uranus. But by the time we get into Capricorn, you're consolidating what has expanded, and you're sorting and organizing it in your inner world to prepare you for next Cancer season, where you'll bring all of that out into your career. Where ironically, you also have Saturn, so the Saturn opposition lightly to Pluto and to Mars that'll be in Capricorn and Venus will set into position how you want to create this foundation relative to now Saturn and Jupiter that are in Aquarius this year, and how you're going to convert that into how you want to express this talentedly, or with who, and how you want to express this collective cosmic energy. At this
Wow.
stage, right, and so the rest of the year is really jam-packed. So let's take a checkpoint, because at this stage, before we get to Aries season, we're clearing out the year. This is this will have Jupiter and Saturn move direct. And by this time, Jupiter is in Pisces and the North Node is in Taurus. So we have a huge shift. Now, Jupiter in Pisces is going to come into a Jupiter return. Congratulations. It's going to be opposite Venus and expand the completion of your relationships and heart since 6 years ago when it was conjunct your natal Venus. Because Pisces is your sixth house, congratulations, you're stepping into chapter 6 of your Jupiter cycle. It's just as master risings like us, we come into it near the end of the transit because we have to, of course, finish the other house realm since our AC is at the end of the sign. So Jupiter is going to evolve the divine nature of your supernatural lifestyle to integrate everything you've evolved since 2017. Chapter 6 is a very important part of the Jupiter cycle, and it's going to enhance, it's going to pimp your lifestyle out. But you also have Jupiter here. So that's what you were waiting for, to be honest. This is going to put everything full circle coming into 2022, and it's going to prepare you for the next 6 chapters coming into Aries. So the North Node that's also coming into Taurus will now begin to transit the South Node through your second and take the resources of your own value to manifest other people's resources that they share with you and can invest, or boundaries and dealings with others based on what people. Right. So it's going to really open up great for self-employment. Once again, more finances and, the results of partnership as a result. And in that vein, once again, once we step now into Aquarius season, we're going to be more aware of this karmic lesson of Saturn Aquarius. Venus and Mars will catch up to it during Aries. But while we go into Aquarius, you'll be coming back around to revisit how much more strong authority you have within as this pertains to this greater control, really expressing your creative talents, which at this point have fully evolved. And this will give you so much more to control and sort and organize through this. This, of course, is going to manifest the sense of belonging Leo season 2 months ago with more, now that you're aware of who you can connect with, how much more creative your social circle of friends connect with you in this vein. This is going to just revisit what you've evolved throughout 2021 during 2022 and then prepare to integrate that Pisces season. Pisces season 2022, I think, is going to be very important for you. You're going to have the Jupiter return. We're going to have the new moon with Jupiter, Neptune, and Venus in Pisces. And this is going to start a brand new cycle for you of fully integrating your lifestyle and evolving your lifestyle, stepping into divine habits that with Neptune will draw from the realm of imagination to bring abstract metaphysical phenomena and literally live your dream life. So 6 months from then, Virgo season 2022, you will have completed this cycle, fully changed your lifestyle, and have upgraded it to where you're now incorporating these divine elements relative to newly defined supernatural abilities you've long since integrated, which is going to be super exciting because chapter 6 is the closure of the first half. Chapter 12 is the closure of the second half. So this closure of the first half is preparing you to take this mastery of lifestyle and coming into next year, 2023 rather, integrate that into your relationships with others, because Jupiter in your seventh house will now evolve your relationships. But first, you need to evolve your lifestyle so you can integrate that into the right partnerships where there's Chiron. And that seems to be very exciting. That's going to lead to Aries season 2022, where now the personality you're developing now, you're going to bring that so much more boldly to other people, where you've started the cycle to begin changing your habits. And because now everything is going to relate to chapter 6, Aries season of 2022 is going to be your awareness of how much more powerful you hold space authentically with others relative to how you're evolving your behavior and how these relationships influence your behavior. And that in a nutshell is the next 6 months ahead. Did you have any questions so far?
Yeah, I wrote down one thing. I wanted you to see in my chart, based on everything you've kind of shared with me, which makes a lot of sense, is do you see any, I think I know the answer, but I guess I want to hear from you, like the like influences of past life relating to what's happening now.
Oh, that's a really good question. So once again, the nodes for you are opposite. So this is a very good question. We know your south node is Gemini, and the south node right now is Sag. So it's actually intertwining all your lifetimes. That's one way to see it. It's kind of having you align your different lives so that you can now make a new decision to move forward, encompassing everything. It's just our brain will process that in a 3D way instead of like filtering all that. So I would
Right.
say also, since past life, right, can be seen as the 12th house, you're taking the early childhood enlightened view of how you align with truth, your attitude. And so it's going to have you remind like everything you've ever come to see as the truth, you're going to be applying to your current situation and figuring out how to align the next direction moving on from
Gotcha. Wow.
here.
It's one of the best readings
And
I've had. Thank you so much.
oh my God, that means so much. I'm really
No,
grateful.
you have no
I,
idea. It really answers a lot of questions, makes a lot of sense. I mean, I don't know how it's all gonna. That's the beauty of it all. Like, and that's the exciting part of the journey is, I don't know exactly how it's all gonna play out. I trust that it will. But yeah, I can see a lot of the stuff already happening and in play. So thank you.
that's amazing. And when Sagittarius season comes, the question about your past lives, you'll be more aware of it directly. That's going to bring it more to your focus. But outside of that, feel free to shoot me any questions. If you can email me if anything comes up about the transit forecast. And other than that, I'm gonna send this to you right now, and you stay blessed.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Can we, is there any way for you to just put my initials on it instead of my name?
Oh, okay.
Just
So
for privacy reasons, huh?
I only upload it with your permission. So if you don't want me to upload
Okay.
it, I don't have to. But if you want me to, I can just do the initials.
Well, if you think other people would actually benefit from learning, I have no problem with it. Just, I think, maybe just put my initials.
I got you. I can do that.
Thank you
And
so
I
much.
can block out the frequency.